when we start something, if you don't know why you're doing it, if you don't know what motivates you to do it, number one, you don't know how to continue doing it, especially after you get it. And number two, you're not going to know why you have the ups and downs that you have.
The money one, pros and cons. Okay? Money within integrity for a positive impact versus just money, like Kevin mentioned that story of those people that really do just dabble and they're just hopping from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity of whatever's the quick dollar.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Alan and I were waving to each other via the camera, via the internet, via technology, if you're watching this on the tube. Today, we hope you enjoyed our latest episode. Be nice if I can get this correct here. Number 1012, Finding the Lessons in Your Failures. Today, for episode number 1013, be careful with what motivates you. So our goal, our intention in this episode is to help you understand what motivates you so you can use that for better success and better results in your life, but also so you can make better decisions. I had a buddy growing up, and anytime this friend of mine had a love interest in his life, he was on fire. He was crushing everything. He was learning. He was getting out of his comfort zone. He was a higher vibe version of himself. He was just happier. He was more fulfilled. He was just a brighter light. That's probably the best way to explain it. The energy was different. The energy just felt different. And when this person had a potential love interest, it's almost like they felt like they were capable of more. They were super motivated to do things that they weren't always motivated to do because they had the necessity to follow through. And what happened was when this person didn't have a potential love interest, you could really tell the difference. They wouldn't take care of themselves as much. They wouldn't be learning as much. They wouldn't be as positive. There'd be a lot more excuses. They weren't as motivated. They just weren't as motivated. And understanding that, recognizing that, and then being able to control that is an important facet for everybody, but particularly that person where that is a very, very, very big motivator. And my question, and maybe you know somebody like that, maybe you're wired that way. Maybe you're motivated by a partner, right? And every time you have somebody in your life and you're like, oh, I imagine our life together and I got to go to the gym. I got to go to the gym because, this person's going to see me there and I just got to be on my best behavior and I really want to make sure I'm doing everything I need to be doing. What happens if you find out that person has a partner? What happens if you approach that person and they end up saying, hey, no, thank you, I'm not interested? Then what happens? Do you lose motivation? Does that make you even more motivated? Do you start questioning yourself? Do you kind of fall into a little bit of a rut? How do you react to that situation? Well, if you're motivated by that mating, and we're going to go through the 5 M's, if you're motivated by mating and having a partner, it might be challenging for you to get up and get after it if something goes wrong there. And the importance of knowing is not just so you can leverage it, but it's also so you can check in with yourself and say, why aren't I motivated? Alan and I don't know, probably like 6 months ago, we got $25,000 transferred over to our bank account. And I know Alan and I lost motivation for a little bit, not a ton, but I know we were acting a little bit different. I am motivated by money. I felt comfortable, abundant for the first time to that degree in a long time. Alan, I don't know what your experience was, but that's one of the motivators. One of the motivators is money. It's materials and possessions, or maybe it's movement/freedom, the ability to go wherever you want, whenever you want. If you get your motivation need met, what happens after that? Do you continue doing what you were doing? Do you just say, okay, cool, I have everything I want now? It's very important to check in with that. A lot of people say, well, how did you guys do 1,000 episodes? And it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. How do you do an episode every day? How did you get through the hard times? And one of the things I always tell them is we didn't do it for the money. So if your motivation for starting a podcast is the money, you most likely will not be successful because you're not going to get that motivation met. it's going to be a long time before you get that motivation met and you actually make money. Now, maybe you'll make money quickly, probably not, but what happens if you don't? Alan's going to go through the 5 M's, and then I'll connect that story to the 5th M because it'll land that way. But understanding that when we start something, if you don't know why you're doing it, if you don't know what motivates you to do it, number one, you don't know how to continue doing it, especially after you get it. And number two, you're not going to know why you have the ups and downs that you have. We all are motivated by different things. We all have all of the 5 we have 4 that Alan's going to mention and kind of one wild card that not everybody has. But Alan, I'll let you go through them so people know what the hell I'm talking about.
The first thing to share here before we go into the 5 M's of next level motivation is to understand, let's go to the very root core here of what motivation actually is. Motivation is the drive necessary to get up and take action towards something, even if it's uncomfortable or something you don't feel like doing. And so the really important piece here before we dive into these is not to kid yourself about what motivates you. I think a lot of us tell ourselves a story about ourselves that isn't accurate. And they say, well, I'm not motivated by external things. And that's not true from a neurobiological perspective. That's just not true. If there is an attractive mate that you see, that there is something inside of you, it's called primal triggers, and there's a lot of science and evolutionary science behind all this. But there are a lot of primal triggers that actually do motivate us. So if you see your dream car drive past you on the road, you get a hit of dopamine and you are actually motivated by that. And there's a lot of books on this, The Molecule of More and The Art of Impossible and all these different things. But the key here is to be very honest with yourself. Before we share the 5 next level M's of motivation with you, just be very honest with yourself here. Because a lot of people tell themselves a story that they're not motivated by external things, and it's really not true. All of us are to some extent motivated by external things, and there's something called intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and we all have both. But we all have our own unique flavor of those things, and I digress. Here we go. Number 1 is mastery/status. The desire to be extraordinary at your craft, at what you do. So again, we talk about ourselves here because it's our own experience. So being a better podcaster is very, very, very important to me and to Kevin. So that's number 1, mastery/status. Golfer, or podcaster or speaker or author or doctor, lawyer, whatever your profession is, whatever your craft is, mastery/status, being the best at what you do is number 1. Number 2, this is to Kevin's original story about that person he referred to who, when they have a partner or a potential mate in their life, they're on fire, they're rocking and rolling, but when that goes south or isn't there, they're not nearly as lit up. It's because of the second one, mating/romance. These are people who are very driven by their intimate relationship. And we've all seen it before, just being candid here. We've all seen people get in a relationship and sometimes the couple gets out of shape together, sometimes the couple gets in shape together. I've seen it where one partner gets with another partner who is really, really into fitness, and then all of a sudden the other partner starts rocking and rolling, going to the gym, tracking their calories. Partners influence each other so much, and it's because of this motivation. Mating/romance is a very, very strong motivator. Sex drive, all of that. Again, evolutionarily, this is a very big piece of the human condition. Number 3, movement/freedom. This is the ability. So if you've ever heard someone talk about financial freedom, what they really mean is I care about movement/freedom, and I care about money because that will give me movement/freedom. This is living where you want, doing what you want, as much as you want, with whoever you want, whenever you want. This is someone who really, really, really wants to be in control of their own schedule. Super important. Movement/freedom. Number 4, money/materials. These are the people that really care deeply about having a specific home or a specific car or specific clothes or anything that money can buy, essentially. They care deeply about money. Number 5, and this is the one that Kevin referred to as the wild card. And the wild card is one that I've found a lot of people do not have. If you're listening to this show, you probably do to a greater extent than most, and that's probably why you find yourself more motivated than most of your peers. Because if you don't tap into this fifth one, in my opinion, this fifth one is more powerful if you tap into it right than all the other four combined. Okay, all four, and now imagine if you ignited all five at a level 10. Okay, so this last one is mission/purpose. We will all do more for others than we will for ourselves. When you have a mission that comes from your deepest pain, it ignites another level of you that is, quite frankly, inexplicable. And I'll try to explain it here. So prior to my 26, when I was 26 and I got in that tough car accident and I reevaluated my life, I had a goal and I was achievement oriented. I wanted to be a Fortune 50 CEO in a tech company, like my hero, Steve Jobs. And I did want to change the world for the better, for sure. But after 26, when I sat with all that regret of realizing that I could have just passed away like my father did in a car accident, I had to reevaluate my life, and it was so painful. And one of our mentors, Evan Carmichael, says, your purpose comes from your deepest pain, and I could not agree more with that. And the pain that I grew up in was really not having a father, not having a strong male role model, not having a lot of guidance, and certainly not having any personal development or self-improvement in my life. And so now Kevin and I live and breathe from that place of trying to be for others what we really would have needed back when we were just lost and trying to figure it out. And so this last one, mission/purpose, you got to figure out what your pain is, your deepest pain, and try to design a life around solving that problem. We are all here to try to make this world a better place. And if you're someone who's never struggled with alcoholism, you're not going to be able to help me overcome my challenges with alcoholism. So this is like one of those things where it's like your mess becomes your message, your purpose comes from your deepest pain. And for me, drinking was such a challenge for me for such a long time that now that I'm 3 years sober almost, I can now help others with that at a deeper level than someone who's never experienced it. And so that's mission/purpose. And that's the fifth one. And if you tap into that one, it will be the most powerful thing. And again, there's levels to this too. You know, maybe you're tapped into mission/purpose at a level 6. This is next level university. Maybe we got to get it to 7, to 8, to 9. You know, and you never really get to 10 because you can always go into at a deeper level or a higher level. But those are the 5.
What's happening, guys? My name is Alex, and I am a professional videographer who runs a production company out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. The one thing that I love about working with Alan is that right away he was able to come in and set up a system for me that makes sure that I am taking charge of my time and I'm taking the actionable steps that I need in order to progress towards my goals on a day-to-day basis. He's always been great at giving me the information that I need exactly at the right time in order to progress to the next level when it comes to my business. And overall, I think he's just a great personality. When I get off the phone with him, I always find that I am energized. I know exactly where I need to focus my attention in order to progress, and I am getting the most out of what I do with my time.
I definitely think about when I was younger, it was definitely mating and romance for me. When I was younger, I was always, anytime I had a potential partner, I was always like on fire, for sure. Especially when you're young. I mean, there's not a lot going on necessarily when you're in high school. So it's like, oh, this person likes me. I got to get my shit together, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think that I'm definitely, I don't want to say guilty of that because it's not right or wrong. I was not aware of that at the time. And I remember when I would get lonely very quickly. And when I was lonely, I wasn't motivated, right? And then I would like find a potential new partner and I would get super motivated and I'd be on top of it again. And it's so important. We did an episode recently. It's so important to recognize your patterns. One of the other things I'll say, and this might not resonate, but I really want you to think about this. There's people on social media that you see who, and again, if you're not an entrepreneur, this might not land, but I really want you to think about this because this is like a higher level way that this happens. You'll see somebody who starts a business and after a couple of months, the business is gone, and then they start another business and it's gone, and they start another business and it's gone, and start another business and it's gone. But when you go to their profile, they have a bunch of nice things. They're on boats and they're here in this tropical island and this tropical island. Odds are that they're motivated by money, and the reason they're starting and stopping businesses so quickly is because they're not making money, right? So you have to really, really understand what is running you. What motivator is running you, and what can you do to first become aware, and then maybe you don't have to control it, but maybe make a pivot. I am very, very focused and motivated by money. I just am. But that has helped me really dial in parts of the business for us. And I'm very focused on that every single day. I focus on that. I track the numbers and all that happy jazz. The reason I do it is because that's something that motivates me. Now, the question is, when Alan and I are making millions of dollars a year, how do I make sure I stay motivated? Well, then that's when I tap and retap and continue to tap into mission. The mission will never really be fully accomplished, so there'll always be room for growth there. And then, honestly, same with the materials and money as well. But we always talk about awareness. Hyper-consciousness. If you become aware of something, then you can start to make changes in your behaviors, and then you can get different results, but you have to become aware of it first. So figure out, and I know we've gone through these many times on the podcast before, but I wanted to give good stories attached to them. That way you can resonate with it. Sit down, write out the 5 M's, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself. Okay, where am I? How motivated am I by mating and romance? Not as high as I originally thought. All right, cool. Movement/freedom. Yeah, no, I want to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I want to be my own boss, that sort of thing. Like, really sit down, rate these out, get clear. And again, it's not the questions we ask ourselves that make the biggest shift. It's the questions that we answer. So take the time, not if you're driving, obviously, but take the time, sit down, write them out, and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. My goodness.
The most important objective of this episode that I wrote down is to help people better understand what actually motivates them. And when I say what I mean is, it can be sometimes difficult to admit to ourselves what really motivates us. I know it was hard for Kevin for a time to admit, like, yeah, I am motivated by money, because it's sometimes looked down upon, or we're judged, or, oh, you shouldn't be motivated by it. When I go to the gym with Emilia, of course I'm more motivated. 100%, right? And that's totally okay. Let's make that okay. When you go to the gym with a friend that you admire, and that maybe one day you want to be more than friends, like, of course it was motivating, right? Tap into it to be a better person. I'm not saying to go outside of integrity here. And then the most important question that I wrote down is, which one of these motivates you most? Because to Kevin's point, yes, rate them all. We all have all 5. We are all human beings. We all have all 5. And there's a lot of science underneath these. But which one is the biggest? Which one is the biggest? Which one motivates you most? For me, it's mastery/status. For Kevin, it's money/materials. And order them in order of most importance. But you got to know your big one. If you're not going to do the rest of the exercise, I still want you to, but you got to know which one's the big one. Because all of these come with pros and cons. Mastery/status comes with you're going to get really good at things. But if you're not careful, you'll get really, really good. I literally practiced can jam by myself. Like, what a giant waste of time. Like, who cares, right?
You're really good, though. I've played with you a couple of times. You're pretty good.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. A lot of reps behind the scenes where I could have been making a real impact instead of trying to be better than other people at a yard game, right? So at the end of the day, I'm competitive. Mastery/status matters to me. Video games, whatever. Every one of these has pros and cons. The money one, pros and cons. Okay? Money within integrity for a positive impact versus just money, like Kevin mentioned that story of those people that really do just dabble, and they're just hopping from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity of whatever's the quick dollar. So you got to understand which one's your big one. That way you can understand yourself at a deeper level.
And just keep checking in on these. I know we've done, I don't know how many episodes on this we've done, or these specific motivators, but you got to check in. I know Alan and I oftentimes, we are very much in the echo chamber of, hey, how are we getting better? What are our limiting beliefs? How's the business, clients, blah, blah, blah. We're always focused on self-improvement. And oftentimes you forget certain things. There's a lot of stuff out there. We produce a lot of content. So there is always a chance that you did not catch this episode, and or maybe you have forgotten about it. I think oftentimes I feel like I forgot more than I've ever learned, and then you remember it, and then it's a whole nother thing. So we wanted to approach this from a different place today with different stories, and just as a friendly reminder, a friendly check up. Next Level Nation, if you are or want to be a podcaster and you have no idea where to start, this is 1013. So we have done many, many, many episodes. We have helped many, many, many people with their shows, whether you have 150, 200, 500, 1,000 episodes, or you're somebody who says, you know what, I have this mission, I have this purpose, and I have this message I want to share with the world. I don't know what to do. Please reach out to me. We have a wonderful, wonderful team who helps our clients with their podcast, and you can work with me one-on-one as a coach. So no matter where you are, there is a next level, but that starts at the level that you are at, and it is more affordable than you think, I promise, as we like to say everything is here. We want to make things affordable for you.
If you're not 1,000%, I know that's not how percentages work. If you're not 100% convinced of Next Level Podcast Solutions and the team and what it can do for you, hear me out. Not only am I a client of our own company, the Conscious Couples podcast that Emilia and I started together is a client of Next Level Podcast Solutions. So they produce our show. So if that's not proof that I believe in it and its value, holy crap. And then more importantly, Evolve Ventures, which is my beautiful girlfriend. Her name is Emilia. She has a business partner, Bianca, who's a dear friend of mine, client and dear friend of Kevin's as well. And we produce their show as well at Next Level Podcast Solutions. And Emilia is the woman of my dreams and the woman that I intend to spend the rest of my life with. And if that doesn't show a testament of how much I believe in Next Level Podcast Solutions, where I literally recommended it to the woman of my dreams, who I intend to spend the rest of my life with, then I don't know what is. So there's the testimony. It is the best team. It is unbelievable. I'm not only a client of it, but also a part of it. Every week we have a call, dialing it in, making it better, all of that as well. So if you have considered starting a podcast, do not go it alone. It is literally brutal going it alone. It's really a lot harder than people think. It's easy to start. It's hard to continue. I'll say that. It's easy to start. It's hard to stay consistent, and it's definitely difficult to grow. You can do it, but don't listen to the people that are saying it's going to happen overnight, because it's not. Very last thing I'll say, we'll go. We started something called the hashtag Next Level 9 Challenge for episode number 999. If you have not listened to it, we will put a link in the show notes to, one, the digital asset with the Next Level 9 on it, and a link to episode number 999. The instructions of this challenge are all on there. Kevin and I intend to do the hashtag Next Level 9 with our new app, Optimal, every single day from now on. If you'd like to join us on that challenge, it will help you stay accountable. These are the 9 habits, 3 under health, 3 under wealth, 3 under love, that are so simple, but so powerful over the long run. It won't be easy. You don't have to be perfect, but please join us, because we can promise you your life will get better when you do these fundamentals.
Hashtag Next Level 9. Next Level Nation, tomorrow for episode number 1014, happy Sunday tomorrow, do you actually want what you say you want? So Alan and I have had some deep conversations about, oftentimes I think we set goals based on maybe what we want, but we don't necessarily want to work for, or maybe what we want, but it's not in alignment with what we're willing to give up or where we want to put our time and our energy. And it's just so important to make sure that you're actually setting aligned goals that you want to accomplish. That way you can do it and it's sustainable. I think making sure you're setting sustainable goals is super important. As always, we love you, appreciate you, grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans, we have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow on Sunday.
Please reach out.